Venom is routinely one of the most popular Marvel Comics characters there is, so every time a Venom action figure drops, naturally it sells like hotcakes. We're going to be reviewing Marvel Legends Let There Be Carnage Venom today. This is a popular action figure among collectors, namely because, well, one, it's Venom, and Venom is always popular, but also there wasn't really a Let There Be Carnage version of this character for like 2 years, and now here he is in 2024. The first Venom was released at standard price. This was like $22.99, I think. And then this one, Let There Be Carnage, was released at $24.99. Again, standard price in 2024. So they're not asking a whole lot of money for each one. They're asking the bare minimum for Marvel Legends. But also, they're not skimping on details on these guys. There's a lot of sculpt going on here, and Hasbro definitely has not been slacking off. These are the same action figure more or less, but there's a few key differences that we're going to get into. Venom Let There Be Carnage differs from the first movie action figure in very significant ways. The Venom Let There Be Carnage release has a decidedly more blue cast to it, and he's a little bit more matte than the original action figure. If you look at the original, you'll see that he's a little bit glossier, his paint is a little bit of a darker black, and then you've got this bluish gray cast to the paint job over here that doesn't have that same sheen. When you look, you'll also see some other key differences. The veins on the original Venom are a lot messier. Look up close at that, and the paint is kind of splotchy, right? Yeah, it's much messier than it is on this action figure. Let There Be Carnage is a lot cleaner in all the veins. Not that this one is bad, but it feels like they got a second chance and decided to take their time a little bit more with Let There Be Carnage. Another subtle difference that's kind of hard to see on each of these is that the red on the mouth is a little different. You see on the original Venom that it's a little bit redder, right? Whereas on Let There Be Carnage, it's a little pinker, it's a little bit more subdued. You don't notice it as much, do you? It feels like it just blends in ever so much more. Whereas on the original action figure, it definitely feels like it pops. When you change the heads on these two, the difference becomes a little bit more evident. The original Venom has a much redder tongue, and the other one has a much pinker tongue with a more subdued hue to it. Fortunately, since these are exactly the same action figure, the articulation on them is exactly the same, down to the pin joints. Unfortunately for all you pinless joint lovers out there, Venom Let There Be Carnage still has pin joints. Now, that's not necessarily a deal breaker for me. I don't feel like it completely ruins the action figure if I don't get pinless joints, but I know some people out there feel very strongly about it, so just be advised about it. But just like the original Venom, it has all the hallmarks. There's no butterfly joints on this Venom. I don't really feel like he needs them. I feel like he does just fine with his articulation. He's got a very impressive ab crunch and torso rocker. You can get a surprising amount of movement out of him considering just how large and beefy he is. And this is a very large Marvel Legends action figure, by the way. This is way bigger than other standard Marvel Legends, to the point where I'm kind of surprised they didn't try to release it as a deluxe, but I'm glad they didn't, because I think this is one of those action figures we kind of deserve to get at standard price, you know? The quality control on it is really good. I'm not noticing anything that makes me go, ugh. In terms of accessories, he comes with two heads. One has the tongue hanging out and it looks very scary, and it's got the other head that we can pop off and put this on, and it's a little bit more of a subdued look for Venom, a little bit more friendly look, right? One that maybe doesn't look quite so bloodthirsty. And then he also comes with an extra pair of hands, so we can pop these off, put these on, and they look like they're little hands that can grab onto stuff. Like maybe you want to grab Spider-Man, or maybe you want to grab Carnage, or I don't know what you want to do. Little hands that look like they're about to reach out and touch somebody. Yeah, Venom would like that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, rah, Spider-Man. I know he wasn't actually in my movie, but I want him anyway. Yeah.
I think the most obvious difference between this Venom and, of course, the previous Venom is that this one has very large peg holes on his back. And that's going to bother some people, absolutely. Some people are going to be unable to get past that. And those peg holes are there so we can take these tentacles that are included with him, or these Venom heads that kind of come out of him, and we attach them to his back like so. And these are not bendy tentacles at all. These aren't like Doc Ock tentacles or anything like that. They're just stiff plastic. And when you look at it, it does kind of look a little bit seamless when you put them on. So it's very clean looking. That's good. And this is what he looks like when he has his tentacles on. You can kind of give him some cool poses like this. I don't like the way that this kind of presses up against his head, but everything else is looking pretty cool. Like the way these are sticking out. Yeah, that looks nice. And this doesn't look too bad either. This guy, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what they were thinking. That's, whoo, boy, that's a little too close for comfort. I wish they had something else going on there. But overall, yeah, it's a cool look for him. It's just that I know a lot of people are probably going to want him sans tentacles. And, of course, when you take the tentacles off, you get the large holes on the back, and people are really going to be bothered by that. But on the bright side, at least this action figure is back in circulation, and that's really for the best, because this was such a fantastic action figure when it first came out, and it's still a fantastic action figure. I'm going to be real with you guys, this was one of the best Marvel Legends action figures ever released when it first came out, and now that they've made the paint lines a little cleaner, they've changed the colors a little bit, they've made this one even better than it already was, because I like that subdued color and I like that clean look to the lines. It makes it look so much more upscale than it was, especially at the $24.99 price point. If you already have this one, you maybe want to think about whether you need this guy, but if you want to have that complete Venom collection, if you want to have the tentacles that go along with them, you're obviously going to want to pick this guy up. I mean, I'm a Venom fan. A lot of people out there are Venom fans. Of course, we're going to pick this one up, right? Is this the best Marvel Legend ever made? I don't know. Maybe. It was already one of the best Marvel Legends ever made. He's just got a little bit extra now, i.e. tentacles. Does Venom Let There Be Carnage live up to the hype, guys? Yeah, I think so. All these years later, this one still has the juice. And if you don't have him in your collection yet, if you don't have this guy in your collection yet, please consider going out and getting him, because he's just so good. This action figure always has been good. And, well, now, like I say, he comes with the peg holes, which could bother you, but honestly, I think you're not really going to be looking at his back all that much anyway, so I don't really see why it would bother you unless you just have him in a back pose for some reason. But even then, I mean, do you really want this action figure or not? Because he's still pretty good, he's just, got the extra accessories that you can plug in if you really want to. But short answer, yes, it's Venom, for God's sake. Of course he lives up to the hype. Living up to the hype is what Venom does. Well, soulmates, what do you think of this Venom action figure? Is this one that you have to have in your collection? Do you like this one? Or is there something you don't really like about him? I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Be sure you check out my other action figure videos in the meantime, guys, and I will see you soon. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye, guys.